Hi, I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins, and today is February 3rd, 2025. We're in the middle of the Black History Month. Today, we're going to have some exciting guests. First, our supervisor from the town of Bedford, Ellen Calvis, will be here. We'll talk a little bit about what's happening with the H5 bird flu situation that's happening around the country, but we'll get the best information from Commissioner of Health, Dr. Shalita Amler. We'll talk for a few minutes with our Director of Energy Conservation and Sustainability, Peter McCart, about our new climate action plan. I'm going to talk some things about what's happening in the park. The Deputy County Executive will come up, let us know what's happening as far as early voting is concerned, and talk things that are happening in the park. As we started, this month, February is Black History Month, and it gives us a chance to reflect on the resilience, achievements, and cultural impact of Black Americans throughout our nation's history. Westchester County is home to a generation of Black leaders, artists, educators, and activists who have helped shape our communities. From stories of freedom seekers who traveled through our region on the Underground Railroad to the influential voices advocating for civil rights today, Westchester's Black history is deeply rooted, and we always say Black history is American history. And sometimes it can be complicated, but that makes it even the more interesting for as many things have happened here in Westchester County. As we celebrate this month, let us also recognize the ongoing work towards equity and inclusion that must continue. So I encourage everyone to participate in the many events across Westchester County, visiting our historic landmarks and engaging in discussions that help us continue the progress that we have made. Up next, we're going to have, in our history in Westchester County, the Bedford Town Supervisor, Ellen Calvis. Ellen is in charge of the town of Bedford, which has about 17,000 residents. She's no stranger here to our briefing room, so let's bring her up right now. A good friend of mine, the town supervisor of Bedford, Ellen Calvis. Ellen.
Thank you. Thank you, County Executive. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today to share with you all things about the town of Bedford. My name is Ellen Calvis. I'm in my second term as the town supervisor, and if you don't know, the town of Bedford is comprised of 3 lively hamlets: Katona, Bedford Hills, and Bedford Village. We have about 39 square miles, and we're about 39 miles up the Harlem line from New York City. Bedford offers the perfect mix of scenic living, family-friendly activities, great schools, bustling hamlet areas for shopping and dining, nearby to Northern Westchester Hospital, and is absolutely beautiful. It is widely known as an inclusive community, a safe place to live, an excellent place for first responder and community engagement. We are our climate action leader, silver status, climate smart community, and we have an extremely high level of services and programs. We have 3 parks, 3 pools, and a lot going on. For 2025, our vision and plans, I'd like to share with you just some of the things we have going on. Right now, we are in the final stages of launching our comprehensive plan. It is in final draft form and going to public hearing soon. And this is an incredible opportunity to balance the things that people love about Bedford and know about Bedford, the dirt roads and agricultural character, rolling hills and environmental protection, with all of the challenges that we have today that we know we need to address: affordability, affordable housing, and vibrant hamlets where people want to gather and come together, and that provide jobs and opportunities for people. So this will be a great opportunity for Bedford, and we look forward to getting that finished soon. Under the umbrella of economic vibrancy, we are hearing a lot from people post-COVID wanting to come out and do things, but also a lot of people working from home, and having those vibrant hamlet centers where people are wanting to move and live and engage is so important. So we are greatly appreciative of the Downtown Improvement Grant that we have from the County of Westchester to work on some of that in Bedford Hills. where we have seen a lot of storefronts filling up, and we are working on opportunities at our historic train station. But thanks to the county, we're also working on a facade program with a lot of our property owners. We're working on new signage for the area and something we're calling Station Green, which is going to provide a gathering space, an outdoor programming space right in the heart of Bedford Hills. We were also happy to leverage a lot of our ARPA, not a lot of, but some of our ARPA funding to hire a business promoter who has been working the past couple of years with all three of our hamlets to increase economic vibrancy. And one of the things that is coming out of that is a new Chamber of Commerce in Bedford Hills, which is extending beyond the hamlet area down the 117 corridor and the 684 bypass to develop a really robust business association that can help promote and advance Bedford Hills objectives. We also were able to use our ARPA funding to support affordable housing in Bedford, which is a great opportunity to try to bring down housing costs. We partnered with the county to support Blue Mountain Housing to buy a new property that will be affordable housing, to renovate some housing, and we put ARPA funding towards a new housing development. So that's really exciting. We look forward to seeing in our comprehensive plan how we can do more to support diverse types of housing in our town. We are excited to announce the John Jay Farmers Market will be in Katona next summer. That also should attract people into the hamlet, while the John Jay Homestead will be undergoing a major renovation for the next year and a half. We also launched the Bedford Art Crawl last fall, which was a great collaboration among our three hamlets to attract people, and we'll be doing that again in October. And we are completing some major infrastructure that should support some of that growth and development, completing the sewer project in Bedford Hills and Katona this year, providing a new water supply for Bedford Village, which is also underway, and working on improving traffic safety throughout the town and a variety of projects. And finally, safety and wellness is of paramount importance in our town. The Bedford Police Department continues to keep us safe and continues to do more and more community connections and outreach. And we are, thanks to a New York State grant, are upgrading our technology and communications with our police and trying to help prioritize cell service communications, again, balancing that need for modern technology in Bedford with our bucolic landscape. It's not always easy, but we have moved forward with a new cell tower, so there is service in Bedford Village, and there another location in Katona is on the docket right now, so hopefully we will get that. We also secured a $600,000 grant from the CDC for drug-free communities. It's over the next 5 years to address youth substance abuse in our three-town area, along with Lewisboro and Pound Ridge. So we've just hired a coordinator, and we're looking forward to building that coalition and really leaning into the opportunity to address some of the causes of drug abuse and prevention, including mental health. And lastly, we are, as I said, a climate action leader, and we are have just opened, NYPA has installed 6 new EV fast charging stations in Katona, which is exciting. And we are working on a transition to clean energy in our townhouse, as well as launching a new landlord building health and performance program that will require multifamily buildings to undergo inspections, do energy benchmarking, and get opportunities to enhance the building health and safety for their tenants. We're also leaning into a service theme this year, really trying to lift up our first responders, our veterans, those who serve in our government, our police, and also in all of our many nonprofit organizations. We are working with our town boards and committees to have a recognition event soon, and finding lots of ways to encourage volunteerism and participation among our community members. So that is a theme we will be leaning into. I hope that many of you will come enjoy the Bedford Art Crawl, the Bedford Music Festival. There's something called the Westchester Book Festival, I hear, that's coming to Katona this year. We have Caramore with an incredible line of programs and a free Juneteenth and Dia de los Muertos every year. Gorgeous grounds to come visit, the Katona Art Museum, the Bedford Playhouse, and our 3 amazing hamlets. So hope to see you there. I'm sure, County Executive, we will see you there.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellen. And we just want to give a super shout out for our supervisor of Bedford, Ellen Calvez, and the tremendous work that goes on. A lot of people get, from a county perspective, there's so many different types of communities in Westchester County. Up in Bedford, there's a lot of horse farms and things that are happening there, as well as tremendous art with Caramore and the art crawl, et cetera. And I was privileged to be up there with our favorite legislator Erica Lang Pierce, Supervisor Calvez, and Assemblymember Burdick for their coffee and conversation, where a lot of those things were deep dived into, and the things that are happening in Bedford are tremendous. Bedford 2030, with leading that climate initiative, and certainly, Peter McCart will come back and give you additional shout outs for the work that is being done up at Bedford. But congratulations on all the work that's going on, balancing the needs of the community, trying to make sure that we're protecting the environment, but also creating fair and affordable housing across the board. It's not an easy thing to do, and certainly there's places in Bedford that, from an emergency services perspective, and our deputy county executive would always tell us, whether it's from KB HVAC, from the volunteer ambulance corps, from the volunteers EMS corps, that is so much important work that's being done. And when you have the hamlets, you'll see why the initiative that we created because of Legislator Pierce's initiative, to make sure that the volunteers, no matter where they live, what doesn't matter if they work in one of the hamlets and live in a different hamlet, they were able to take advantage of that county tax break. And I know that that's working its way through the Board of Legislators right now. So again, thank you so much, Supervisor Calvez, for letting us know what's going on in Bedford. And people should have that great opportunity to come up and visit and participate in so many of the things that are happening in the hamlets or in the town. So thanks again. At this time, we are going to bring up to talk about an economic impact survey that is so important. Many people don't realize how much things are going on in Bedford. We have some of our great entertainers that make Bedford their home, but there are also some things that happen in Bedford. I think there's so many movie shoots that happen around, including the X-Men, which I believe was shot up in one of the many gorgeous mansions that's up in Bedford, to take advantage of that. At this point in time, we're going to ask our Director of Tourism and Film, Natasha Caputo, to come up and to tell us about the economic impact study that we are having going on right now.
Thank you.
Natasha, it's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to be here. So before I start on film, I do have to say, go on to visitwestchesterny.com and search Bedford. You will find many great itineraries, a list of our dining options, attractions. So it is definitely a place, a destination to go, and a place and a shot for filming. It really is. So here in Westchester County, film is big business. The talent comes out. The talent is filming here in Westchester. It is a $2 billion economic driver to our county. It employs over 6,780 jobs, and it contributes about $656 million of wages. And how do we know that? It is through your participation in our film economic survey. It is visit westchesterny.com/film. And it is not only for our municipal partners, it is our tourism attractions, our nonprofits, and the various locations out there. We want to hear from you. We want to know about those production days and what your experience was like. We're on the phone every day selling Westchester as a place for filming. And it's beneficial to hear from you so that we can not only share our good news, but also make our service better. Our marketing, our sales efforts. Again, on our film website, we have many different resources from the industries. And just as we mentioned, Succession, Gilded Age, it's all across here in Westchester, from Lyndhurst to our farms. We have John Hamm with Your Friends and Neighbors filming in Rye. We have ongoing business with FBI and all of some new shows, Dexter, coming here to our county. So I want to encourage that because I'm only as good as you help me to be. So in sharing that information, and it's visit westchesterny.com/film. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Natasha.
Great.
And it was so important to make sure to point out it's a $2 billion business for us in the Hudson Valley, and the work that Natasha Caputo and her team does for tourism and film in Westchester, not only to just say, well, here's some great locations, but also working with the local municipalities to make it easier and understand it, working with our chambers of commerce to understand what it means when a film is shooting. There's a lot of things that happen from an economic development perspective, even though there might be some inconvenience for folks. So it's a good balance to have happen, and with great town supervisors like Ellen Calvis and all of our municipal leaders that work through the Westchester Municipal Officials Association to talk through and make sure that the balance happens. But again, it is fantastic. People get a chance to see Westchester County, so visit ny.com to be able to do that and see what great things are happening. So again, thank you so much, Natasha, and make sure that people have that opportunity from hotels, attractions, filming locations, the municipalities, take advantage of putting that information into the survey, because it helps us all to keep Westchester moving forward. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Shalita Amler, our County Health Commissioner, to come up and give us some more information about what's going on and trying to help balance things out. So some of us understand. I was in one restaurant this week, and that restaurant suggested on its menu that they were increasing their prices for things that have eggs in it because of the bird flu outbreak across the country. But we haven't had that scenario here in Westchester. So at this time, let's get in Dr. Amler, who can give us some great information, because it's very, very important to be able to protect yourself. Dr. Amler.
Thank you. Well, you know, the goal of public health is really all about preventing disease instead of treating disease. And so I think this is a very important topic. So bird flu, also called avian influenza, or HPAI, which stands for highly pathogenic avian influenza. This is a viral infection that's caused severe illness and death in wild and domestic birds, first coming on the scene in about 2022. And avian influenza has also impacted not just the chickens and the eggs, but also dairy cattle. So since March, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has confirmed that cows on dairy farms in multiple states have tested positive for the virus, and the virus has been found in raw unpasteurized milk. And with this in mind, I really want to remind our residents to please do not consume raw milk or dairy products like raw cheese or yogurt, and not to feed raw milk or unpasteurized dairy products to your children or your pets, because unfortunately that milk could be contaminated with the virus that causes avian influenza. The risk of avian influenza remains low for our residents, and no human cases have been identified in New York State. We'd like to keep it that way. However, avian influenza was recently identified in a Canadian goose in Brewster and on a duck farm on Long Island. The first detection of the highly pathogenic avian influenza in New York State was in a backyard poultry flock in Suffolk County in February of 2022. So if you find a dead bird on your property, it's very, very important that you not handle it with your bare hands, and instead you need to wear gloves, a mask, some kind of eye protection. You want to use a shovel, put the bird into a trash bag, contractor bag, and you want to triple bag it and then throw it in an outdoor trash receptacle. This virus can be airborne, so you don't want to get it in your eyes, nose, or mouth. You want to wash your hands with soap and water after disposing of the dead bird, and you should probably also immediately wash your clothing. You want to keep your children and pets away from sick or dying birds or other animals, and please do not yourself or your children or your pets touch any sick or dying animal. Do not feed pets raw milk, unpasteurized dairy products, or raw pet food. There is no need to report the finding of a single dead bird, but if you see a lot of dead birds in the same place, you may want to notify the Department of Environmental Conservation. And now there's a new link for reporting observations that can be found on the DEC's website, so I would refer you to their website for this new link. Once a report is received, the DEC's field response is guided by the report's details. They're going to want to know the number of sick or dead birds, the bird species, if you know it, and observations from this information can help them document where perhaps we have not known that there was avian influenza documented in the past. Of particular interest are reports of suspected outbreaks in all species of waterfowls, raptors, crows, shorebirds, and other water birds such as gulls, loons, and herons. These species are known as HPAI vectors, which are particularly vulnerable to the disease. And testing of these birds can help the DEC track the prevalence on our landscape. The DEC will decide if testing is indicated, so they may not test every single bird that is reported to them. They're going to look at all the factors that I did mention because testing availability is somewhat limited. We also have some advice for anyone who's keeping a backyard flock of hens or who run a farm. Watch closely for signs of illness in your animals and minimize their exposure to wild ducks and geese and their droppings. And for more guidance, you can go to the USDA Defend the Flock website to report sick birds in your flock and an unexplained high number of deaths or a sudden drop in egg production if you have a farm. And you can contact the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets at 518-457-3502. So in closing, the risk of avian influenza currently remains low to our residents, and we are asking for your assistance in ensuring that dead birds are disposed of in a safe and appropriate manner so we don't have any unfortunate exposures that could result in our first human case. So please help us out with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Amler. And again, the information is on the county's website to point you to the DEC. And again, it's a low risk here in our county. But the reality is that we do know that across the Sound in Long Island, that they had to destroy every duck that was in this duck farm that was there, and it was over 1,000 ducks that had to be euthanized because of the avian flu. So again, make sure that you are protecting yourself, paying attention to all of the guidance that Dr. Amler suggested, making sure that if there was anything that happened, that you found the dead bird, that you didn't have that picked up, and making sure that there's pets that are trying to get engaged in that. It's very difficult. Again, the further out of our more urban areas and into suburban areas, into the farms, you can't watch everything. It's just not possible. But the reality is if you see certain situations happening, make sure you take advantage and take that guidance that Dr. Amler provided. So again, thanks a lot, Dr. Amler, for making sure that we're trying to prevent things from happening as opposed to responding to them. At this time, we're going to ask our Director of Energy Conservation and Sustainability, Pete McCart, for the Hudson Valley Regional, as well as our Planning Manager, Mary Lambert, to come up and give us some more information about Westchester County's new Climate Action Plan.
Sure. Thank you, County Executive. So this is an initiative about empowering our communities within Westchester with resources and guidance that need to take meaningful climate action. With the support of the Climate Smart Community Grant that we received, $115,000, we are helping our local governments develop tailored strategies to reduce emissions, enhance resilience, and build a more sustainable future for all. And just to be clear, the county has already finished our climate action plan for our government operations this past year, and we did it in conjunction. We worked with 8 municipalities. We were the financial sponsor of it. And those communities, I think it's worth noting, are Terrytown, Irvington, White Plains, Peekskill, Ossining Town and Village, Pelham, and Hastings. Currently, the county and several municipalities are working on a climate vulnerability assessment and adaptation plan. Thank you, Elijah Reichlin-Melnick, for spearheading this and really grabbing the bull by the horns and running with it. We are doing this with various departments around the county, especially the Department of Emergency Services, and Commissioner Susan Spears. I really want to thank them for all the help, as well as the Planning Department and Dave Convenga and his office in planning. That's been very helpful. I think it is worth noting that ICLEI, which is a weird name, but it's for the International Organization of Local Governments for Sustainability. They have stated that Westchester County has by far the most amount of local climate action plans in the country, if not the free world. I just made that up. Several munis have taken on a climate action plan on their own, such as Bronxville and Bedford and various other municipalities. So with the first CAPI and now this CAPI 2.0, we have nearly covered the entire county, and that's pretty cool. And it just speaks to what our constituents want. I know you're a greenie at heart, and I really appreciate your being here. I would now like to introduce Mary Lambert, who we couldn't do this without the Hudson Valley Regional Council. They're really the administrators of this and bring everybody together, and especially Mary. Thank you to Mary and all. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. As Pete mentioned, my name is Mary Lambert. I am here representing the Hudson Valley Regional Council, which is a regional council of county governments providing support and technical assistance to Westchester County and all municipalities in the 7-county Mid-Hudson region. I'm here today to proudly announce, as Pete mentioned, that Westchester County has for a second time been selected by New York State Climate Smart Communities program for an award, this time for $115,000, to coordinate and collaborate a working group of 9 municipalities, each of whom will complete and adopt a government operations greenhouse gas inventory and a government operations climate action plan. The 9 participating municipalities are the cities of Mount Vernon and New Rochelle, the towns of Greenboro, Lewisburg, Pelham, and Somers, and the villages of Briarcliff Manor, Rybrook, and Scarsdale. To complete these deliverables, this diverse group of municipalities will participate in HVRC's 16-month Climate Action Planning Institute, or affectionately known as CAPI. This regional program was developed by HVRC and will be delivered in partnership with national sustainability nonprofit ICLEI, Local Governments for Sustainability. The program is collaborative, science-based, and highly pragmatic, assisting municipalities in analyzing how to most efficiently reduce their carbon footprint while saving money, increasing revenues, addressing frontline communities, advancing climate resilience, and helping secure grant funding for the region. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our partner, Westchester County, especially Pete McCart and Elijah Reichlin-Melnick, for their steadfast support of HVRC and also of dozens of municipalities, as Pete mentioned, in the county, who are all working on sustainability and important clean energy projects. Simply put, without them, this program would not have happened. As Climate Action Planning Manager at HVRC, I've had the privilege of working alongside Pete and Elijah, assisting them in completing Westchester County's greenhouse gas emissions inventory and climate action plan. The rigorous approach the county and past participant CAPI municipalities have taken in developing these inventories and climate action plans reflects the importance each local government places on this important work and their commitment to addressing climate change at the local level. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mary, we want to thank you and the Hudson Valley Regional Council for the first for the award, but more importantly for the continued partnership between Peter McCart, Elijah Reichlin-Melnick, and certainly our leaders on the County Board of Legislators that make sure that this happens all together. So it's a great partnership to continue to work with our partners in the Hudson Valley and every municipality that has done so much work on their own. And we have been blessed, as Peter has mentioned, that we have so many communities that do things on their own, but we want to make sure that we're partnering with everyone to make sure that we deal with our climate challenges and be able to come up with solutions that match what we have to do for our county in Westchester and in partnership with the Hudson Valley Regional Council. So thank you so much. At this time, we're going to ask the Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney, to come up. He'll give us some information, and he certainly will talk a little bit about the nationally accredited award-winning park system.
A little later. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. As you should all know by now, we're having a special election for county executive on February 11th. It's a critically important election, and we hope that everyone will participate. But in the meantime, we have early voting available for you, so you do not have to wait for the last day, February 11th. All voters can register early at special locations that I'm going to tell you about now. Starting today, Monday, February 3rd, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday, February 4th, from noon to 8. Wednesday, February 5th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thursday, February 6th, from noon to 8. Friday, February 7th, from 8 to 4. Saturday, February 8th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Sunday, February 9th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The early voting locations are the following. Croton-on-Hudson is the Croton Municipal Building. Eastchester Public Library. St. Gregory Great Church at 215 Halstead Avenue in Harrison. Hastings-on-Hudson, the Public Library. Mamaroneck, the Mamaroneck Town Center. Mount Kisco, the Mount Kisco Public Library. And Mount Vernon, the Dole Center. Also in Mount Vernon, City Hall. In New Rochelle, we have 2 locations there as well. The New Rochelle City Hall Annex, the New Rochelle United Methodist Church. In Ossining, the Joseph Caputo Community Center. In Peekskill, the Peekskill Lincoln Depot Museum. And also in Peekskill, the Neighborhood Center. In Pound Ridge, we have the Pound Ridge Townhouse. In Rice City, the Resurrection Early Childhood Education Center. In Rye Brook, the Firehouse. That's the Rye Brook Firehouse at King Street. And Somers, the Somers Townhouse, where I voted with my wife on the first day. So that was an interesting experience. And Valhalla, we have the Mount Pleasant Community Center, the White Plains Greenberg Town Hall, also the Westchester County Board of Elections. And finally, in the last couple of communities, we have Yonkers, the Will Library, the Nodine Hill Community Center, and the Riverfront Library. Yorktown Heights, Jefferson Village Annex, the Yorktown Cultural Center. And to find out more, you certainly can go to the Westchester County Board of Elections to confirm your personal early voting locations. And you can also call 914-995-5700 or visit it citizenparticipationwestchestergov.com. Thank you, Mr. County Executive.
Thank you, Richard. At this point in time, we want to make sure that we are going to talk about for a second the exciting things that are coming up in Westchester County with our park system in just a moment. But our Westchester County Department of Health is going to make sure to advise everyone and encourages everybody to help build awareness by wearing red on Friday. So it's National Wear Red Day on Friday, February 7th, to talk about the health disease in women by taking part by wearing some red on this Friday for National Wear Red Day this Friday. This marks the 21st anniversary of the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women initiative to promote awareness of heart disease and those prevention strategies, and American Heart Month, both programs of the American Heart Association. Most people don't recognize that heart disease is the leading cause of death in men and women in Westchester County and nationwide. Although men are more likely to be diagnosed with heart attacks, women have a higher death rate from heart attacks than men. So we want to make sure to encourage people on this Friday to wear red for National Wear Red Day, just bringing awareness, but more importantly, it makes sure that everyone can understand the signs of heart attack and take the actions necessary. So while chest pain or discomfort is the most common universal symptom, women are more likely than men to experience symptoms that can be misunderstood, such as shortness of breath, nausea, back or jaw pain. So again, here's some ways to be able to help out by making sure that you exercise for 30 minutes on most days, eating healthier to reduce your cholesterol, blood pressure, and weight. Know what your numbers are, so be aware of your blood pressure, cholesterol count, and lipid profile. Avoid tobacco products and limit alcohol. If you do those suggestions, and again, that is also on our county health department website, to be able to identify those symptoms that may be a heart attack, and again, checking with your local physician as quickly as you can make the difference. So again, National Wear Red Day this Friday, February 7th, and again, it's marking that 21st anniversary of the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women. At this time, let's bring back our Deputy County Executive to talk about our park system.
Thank you, sir. We do have a nationally accredited and award-winning park system that we want to tell you about. We're very proud of them and all the various activities they do throughout the year. This week, starting tomorrow, February 4th, at the Westchester and White Plains, we have the Mall Walk, and that occurs both on Tuesdays and Fridays weekly. You can go at your own pace or be motivated by joining a group of inspiring people, and it has grown into a small community of participants. Also tomorrow at the Hilltop Hanover Farm and Environmental Center in Yorktown, we have the Farm to Fable. It's a program for children ages 3 to 6 to explore the whimsy of the world around them by combining storytelling with hands-on activities on the farm straight from the tale. This event takes place indoors, and it will also be conducted on February 13th, 20th, 27th, March 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, and I'm sure we'll be reminding you about them in the future. On Friday, February 7th at Lasden Park, we have the Budding Artists Program from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. This monthly art class for ages 3 to 5 connects children's stories such as the Snowy Day to hands-on sensory-based arts and crafts projects. There's a $15 charge for participants, and it will also be run a month later on March 7th. On Saturday, February 8th, at the Del Bello Muscoot Farm in Somers, we're going to have a Valentine's Day card making, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. We want to express to our animals how much we love them. Write a Valentine to any or all of them. Letter templates will have photos of all of the animals to ensure that every animal knows they are cared for and about. All Valentines will be then hung on the fences of the specific animal you wrote to. Letters will stay up until the weekend after Valentine's Day. Come while supplies last, and it's free for all ages. And finally, on Sunday, February 9th, at the Edith Reed Wildlife Sanctuary in Rye, we have a bamboo identification program from 2 p.m. to 3:30. You hike through the bamboo forest to learn about the species of bamboo and how to distinguish one from the other, cut samples to study, and take them home. Mr. County Executive, that's the end of this presentation.
Well, again, we want to thank the Deputy County Executive, but more importantly, it's your park system. Make sure that you sign up for the e-news, for the park e-news to do that. Again, I was hanging out this weekend on Sunday for our own weather predicting chicken that Cluxatani Henrietta that predicted, just as Phil did, by the way, that there would be additional 6 weeks of winter. And the very first time that that's happened in the many years that we've been doing that, we want to thank Jonathan up there for Jonathan Benjamin for the work that he does as the farm manager up there at Muscoot Farm, Alfred B. Del Bello Muscoot Farm. It was the most crowded that we've had. The crowd was tremendous for a very wintry, cool, cold day. up in Somers at the Alfred B. Del Bella Muscoot Farm. But again, it's part of those exciting activities that they do for you in Westchester County. It's your park system, part of the 18,050 plus facilities that we have. Some of those are free activities, but some of them cost things. But again, some of them just seem to be things that people like and enjoying to do. And I have to tell you again, being with Erica Lang Pierce and Chairman Vidat Gashi from the Board of Legislators on Sunday when we were doing that work, again, the children and the not so young children were really excited about that and having the opportunity to do that. It's been a great long briefing for today. We had so much information right from our supervisor of the town of Bedford, Ellen Calvez, and the work that she's doing up there and all the great things that are happening in Bedford. We want to continue wishing them much success, as their success is everyone's success in Westchester County. Natasha Caputo, our Director of Film and Tourism, letting people know that there's $2 billion worth of investment that happens in Westchester County and how local municipalities and everyone could take advantage of that by making sure they fill out the survey with all of our partners out there in the hotels and all of the attractions that are in Westchester County, including those in our park system. We had both Mary Lambert and Peter McCart, and giving reference to Elijah Reichlin-Melnick as well for the work that they're doing for our climate action plan for Westchester County. Dr. Shirlita Amler and Chris Erickson, who's here as well, but we did not have him come up to speak today. I don't know, he's in witness protection, but to make sure that things are happening in our county health department and the things that for our avian bird flu, to make sure that you're protecting yourself, your family, whether it's livestock or your personal animals, to make sure that they're trying to be as safe as possible to do all those things. And certainly having our Deputy County Executive let you know everything that's going on in Westchester County. Again, we're going to get back to you if we have some additional information and things that come up. But at this point in time, I'm Ken Jenkins, County Executive. Make sure you have a wonderful day.